Whoa! Where are we? Oh my god! It's a great void. Hello, Tony? Tony's not here? Dan, are you here?
I'm here! What's going on?
Wait, if you're here, then where's Drell?
I'm
Alec?
here. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh! Wait, what? Why is it all empty?
Yeah, are we missing somebody?
There's no world here.
Where's the speaker box in the sky? I can't hear that voice.
Well, we're in this blank plane of existence without our DM, and we thought, you know what? We'd give you some, a little episode just to fill you guys in. So enjoy this little intermission episode. It's just going to be the three of us hanging out, talking, and yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll go grab a beer.
Yeah, you know what? Get some snackies and join us. Get ready. And intro!
And intro! We nailed it! Who needs Tony for the intro? We did it.
You know what's... I just want to point out, and you keep this in the episode or take it out. Tony takes about 8 tries before he nails the intro. I think I did pretty good.
One-shot Armos for sure.
Improvised.
One shot
Right up.
Armos. I'm gonna start one shot Eldritch Blast,
You know what? I shoot 2 blasts now.
That's true.
Look
You
out.
actually do shoot a lot of blasts.
I'm ready. All right, so in this episode, we wanted to talk about, how did we create our characters? What was the deciding factors behind it? And you know what? I think Dan was probably the most thought out. Maybe Alec
No,
was,
definitely Dan.
Who knows?
Definitely.
Yeah, I thought it. I had a hankering, but I kind of figured. But
I don't know about
Dan,
Jared, but
you...
definitely not Alec. I talk about this a lot. I fucking love Alec's thought process when he made his character. He's like, I want to fight stuff. How can I do that well?
Yep.
Well, Drell.
I want to smash things.
Hulk smash.
No, but the reason I decided to do, before we decided to do this podcast, here's some kind of fun insider knowledge. The reason we decided to do the podcast is I was in another server where we were starting to do kind of like DND roleplay kind of stuff in the server, and we would have like nights where we would just act as our characters on this adventure. And I was telling Tony about it, and well, first of all, he got really jealous and was mad at me that I was doing this and he wasn't. So he yelled at me. But after yelling at me, we thought of this great idea to do a D&D podcast, and we asked some people around and got the best people we could find.
And they were busy, then they got us.
Yeah, and then
that's what happens.
the greatest people were busy with stuff, and then they reached out to other people, and they were also busy, and then they finally trickled down to Jared and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, we still had to bribe them with like a bunch of money, and but I was gonna play my first character idea that I was doing in this other thing was this like dragonborn bard kind of character. That this was just this like trashy like roguelike bard, but I just didn't really think it really made sense once Tony like pitched the idea for the campaign to me. It's this like kind of grand campaign, and I wanted to play something a little sillier the way he pitched it, so I threw out Menace, and I remember going to him and be like, I think we've talked about this a bit in our first like precursor episode, all this stuff, but well, you can catch that on YouTube actually. Go search DND404 on YouTube, go watch that video, it's great. But I was like, all right, I just want to play a tiny Minotaur. And he's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can play Minotaur, that's easy. I was like, no. How do I play literally a tiny 4-foot tall Minotaur? Solely because I liked the pun, it's like Mini-Tor. That just sounds hysterical, and I like the idea of this little Minotaur with like a Napoleon complex running around trying to be tough and trying to like fight like the big boys, trying to get in on the action, even though he's really better from a range and better as like a utility character. I chose Ranger because of that whole concept, because he wants to be big, but he can't really do that in his tribe. He had to find a way to fit in with his tribe, so he wouldn't be a warrior, and he wouldn't have the knowledge to be like a wizard or spellcasting, like really smart spellcaster. So I chose something wisdom based, and ranger just really fit the bill as like this kind of scout for the tribe.
Wait a minute. So what you're saying is you started him as a meme and you picked a meme class.
Yeah, and I picked the meme class that everybody hates on. See, not only am I trying to break through the stereotypes, but Minus is also trying to break through his own stereotypes.
There you go. I like it.
I also wanted to be like a good mix of a utility character, since like Alec picked a fighter, so he's going to be up in front, and you picked spellcaster, so you're like in the back. So it's like, how can I pick something that kind of blends a bunch of things to kind of fill in the gaps, you know?
Yeah. So I've always thought about this, but what made you want to go with a sling like rather than like a bow?
Oh yeah, so it was because it was barbaric, you know? It's something that was a little more like strength related. Not that a bow isn't strength related, but it was like he's throwing it with his fucking arm, and the idea of this like little minotaur just launching pebbles around just sounded like somewhat funny, but also just it matched his character a little better in my eyes.
Yeah.
Something barbaric like that.
Yeah, and his pebble walker, and he's throwing pebbles. It kind of just goes.
Yeah, it all kind of tied in, right? Who's next though? Who wants to go next?
Drell, why don't you kick us off?
So yeah, I mean, I pretty much picked the most basic fucking class. The only more basic I could be is if I went human, right? Like I went like Goliath fighter.
True.
So
well, you didn't go champion though. You did do the battle master.
That is like one of the reasons I really wanted to go champion, because you crit on what is that, like 18, 19, and 20?
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, like that alone sounds sick. But the more I was reading on like maneuvers and like all the different stuff you can do, I just felt like it would help the party, like I guess just more like efficiently. But yeah, I like Goliath. I kind of wanted to go Dragonborn initially.
Oh really?
But it was just something about like I guess the way the Goliath looked in the handbook. I was like, dude, this guy's fucking sick. And then I just started, and then I watched like Guardians of the Galaxy, and like Drax is like one of the, I guess, guys where I got like a lot of like Drell inspiration, and like obviously like his name is kind of similar too. And then like the God of War dude. So I was like, okay, it's like a hybrid of like all that stuff.
Kratos? You know? Is that it?
Kratos.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, I was like, that's kind of like what I want to do, and give him like a deep ass raspy voice. I thought for like a split second, like it would be really funny if he had like a super high pitched voice, like just being hella big and shit. But I know I couldn't do a high pitched voice for a long period of time. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go with the deep voice.
Yeah, I've thought about that concept a lot, and I was like, I thought similar things would be funny to do that, but I feel like it would only be funny for like a one shot, or if you're the DM,
Yeah.
But doing it a whole campaign is kind of rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't have that register.
Yeah, dude, I mean, even like sometimes like when we record for like, or like initially when we were recording for like, like 8, 9 hour, like 10 hour time, like
the big days,
dude, my voice was like wrecked towards the end. I was like constantly drinking water because, like it talked like this, and it's just like grass or like gurgly, like raspy, I guess, and it like kind of plays a lot on your so yeah.
I was gonna ask, as you two use fun voices, like was there a second one that was like close, like you were saying with a high pitched one, but how did you settle on that voice? You know what I'm saying? I was kind of curious about that, because like I tried to think of like Armos, and I was like, dude, I don't know if I could keep that. I don't know if I could do that like that entire time. You guys do great with yours, but I'm like, man, that would be tough. It would be fun to do like one off, like what you're saying, but like,
yeah. Well, like in our stream, I did that French guy.
yeah.
Right. It is I, Zuko. It is good to meet you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's good to do for like a one-off, but it'd be so hard to do for like a long campaign. The reason, a pretty simple reason I landed on that for, I think both of us probably have simple reasons for the voice. Mine is because I needed something that was very affected. It sounded like my character was putting on an act, because he is. You know, he's always trying to sound big and tough. And I was just like, I can't. I also was thinking to myself, I can't do something hard for my first character, you know, when I'm still getting used to the rules and stuff. So I landed on that. Ha ha! Yes, it is I, Minas Pebblewalker of the Ivory Boulders. Let's go, Drell. Ha ha! Armos, I like your style. You know, it's just my voice, but deeper and more regal. Is really all it is.
Yeah.
Even then, I have a hard time keeping it up sometimes because we're doing so much, and I'm not used to the game. You know.
Yeah. It's actually really funny. I was kind of just thinking, like, I knew I wanted to do a voice, but I obviously wanted to do something that I felt comfortable with doing for like long periods of time. So I was kind of just like going through video games and like just like listening to voice lines. So like,
Really?
yeah. So like one of the funniest things to me is like a lot of where I got Drell's voice is like from, so the champion Talon in League of Legends. How, you know, it's like live and die by the blade. Like that's kind of like where I got it from. But I was like, I don't want to be exactly like that. So I was like, I kind of want to make it like a little bit different. So I went like more raspier, and like I think that's kind of just.
What about you? What was your inspiration, Jared, for your voice?
That I didn't want to do one since I was too busy. Like the first 2 episodes, I was so worried about just messing up that I was like, dude, on doing a voice on top of it would have been. I was already stressing out. So
you're like fumbling around
like,
your character sheets, trying to still figure out where everything is, and then on top of that, you're like, and I gotta do a voice. You know, it's like, fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons I didn't do my character I did in this Discord, because it was Scottish, and I would have had to like really focus on doing a good Scottish accent, or people would get like offended, or I don't know. I want it to be a good accent, you know.
Yeah.
But that would have been way too much thought.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But take us back to Jared pre-campaign and
your creation of Armos Standard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was trying to get really. So what Tony was saying is that they need to have a backstory. So I thought about it for a while. I like wrote up a bunch of stuff, and then because he was like trying to create the story and everything, and yeah, I just wanted him to be like most characters are like, I don't know. It's like everything's perfect except one thing caused me trauma, and that's the thing. That's the whole motivation or whatever. And I was like, man, it would be cool to like have his story kind of unravel. You know what I mean?
It's definitely unraveling.
Yeah, right. Pretty quickly. But yeah, as far as like Tiefling and Warlock and stuff like that. So I already knew what these guys were picking, and I wanted to do. So one of my favorite like character designs, like as far as like a class, is from Guild Wars, and it's called an illusionary warrior, I think is what it was called. Basically, it's a warrior that uses like a like energy weapon type of thing, like of magic, to hit things, and it does true damage. It was like a really cool like idea. I've always loved that concept. So then I looked up kind of what that could be, and I found out that it could be a warlock. So I was like, oh, warlock would be cool. So then just going through the characters, I was like, oh man, what would be like a good like, because I want him to be dark. And then I was like, oh, Tiefling looks like, you know, about as dark as you can get. So then I kind of went from there. But yeah, so I went with the darkest thing I knew, which was the Tiefling, and then or that I could find. And really didn't even look at like the talents that they got for being a Tiefling. I just was like, oh, they look cool. And that's kind of I mean, again, this is our first experience with D&D and first time ever like creating anything like this. And so if I had to do it all over again, I knew exactly at least what class I would play. But going to the point of like just actually not going down the path, because you could do the chains with the warlock, and then you're a melee kind of class, and that would be like spot on what I would have liked to do. But
Like
I think having the diversity. Yeah.
Hexblade too.
And then, yeah, exactly. But I do like the diversity that we have between the three of us. I think because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, you want to play to have like a different experience of each character, so that the listener who's a magic person gets to be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I would have done something, or I would have done this. And if you have the melee person, it's like, oh, but you could have done this. Or if you have the ranged person, bows or support character or whatever, oh, I would have done something like this. So I don't know. I think for having the podcast, it just made sense just to do the caster. But that leads into our next topic.
Very well, I might say. Yeah.
Right? Don't you love a good segue?
That transition,
it's really nice
baby.
To have a good segue. Woo! I'm on fire, baby. Look out. But yeah, if I had to reroll, so that was going to be our next little topic that we were going to talk about. If, like, say, Armos ceases to exist, gets struck by lightning, the void comes up and swallows him whole, and he, is floating in a big ocean of blood with the crazy whales, I would pick a rogue.
Of course.
Sure. Oh my god, I didn't realize how fun they were until we did our one shot on Twitch. By the way, Twitch, go check us out. We're gonna be live every once in a while. But it was, oh my god. I was like, wait, I gotta do what? I gotta roll how many dice? Wait, let me go in first and stab.
Yeah.
I had a blast. 100%. I'd do a rogue, and I honestly, I'd be any class, or like a race or whatever. I don't even care.
Just as long as you can be a sneaky boy.
I think.
Oh man, dude, what like, and plus like I could steal things. Like, oh my god, like I would fit into that role. Perfect.
I think you would also really like monk, Jared.
Oh, monk, really?
I think because you were talking
Why
about
is that?
like your guild, like your favorite like guild wars, like character, like it just for some reason it just comes to me like with like monk. Like I'm like listen, yeah.
Oh really?
Like I know, yeah, I just know people that like play monk and they like it. They think it's cool, and it's like very similar to that because you can burn like key points to like do like extra bonus damage or like stunning strikes and fury of blows and shit like that. So
and your speed becomes like 100 or something stupid. You're going all over the map.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, when looking through the classes, that was the one that I kind of browsed over because I was like I don't know why the class just doesn't like in most games or something like that, like has never appealed to me. So I never thought that, oh hey, I might like in this. So I didn't even like really read their abilities.
I mean, monks and
the
WoW
players
are fucking OP.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In the player's handbook, I don't think they're represented maybe the best. Like when you first look it over, it's like, oh, what the heck's this class? Monk, I don't want to be this peaceful character kind of, which you can play it that way and have a fun time, but I think a lot of people, when they start playing monk, are like, oh wait, I can do so much damage, and this isn't the type of what I'm used to as like the stereotypical like monk on earth, right? This like clergyman kind of thing, but it's really this like you can play it as like a healer or like a battle class or like a shadow monk is a really cool one.
So Dan, what would you?
Yeah.
If you had to reroll.
Yeah, if I had to reroll.
Finished his quest,
God.
or
I have.
I ended up getting slayed by a Hydra or if
Oh, I hope he gets slayed by a Hydra.
he gets distracted by some shiny object. What would you?
Well, that's the most
I was
likely.
gonna say it's definitely the last option for sure.
For sure. Oh man, guys, look at this cute animal! It turns into like a huge dragon. But no, if I have one I would love to play. I have one I really want to play that's related to this world if Minas died, but I'm gonna keep it a secret for now, and if it happens, I'll tell you guys when it happens, you in the audience. If it doesn't, I'll tell you after the campaign. But just keep that in mind, that I have something in mind, but I want it to be a surprise. But for my next character, I have two in mind that I really like. I have this. I would love to play an artificer class. I just think that sounds really fun, and it'd be kind of cool to like maybe more so in like the next campaign, not like this campaign. If I rerolled in this campaign, I'd probably do a monk, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd probably do a monk, and
Yeah, monks are sick.
it'd be it'd probably be a Goliath, actually.
Oh, that'd be rad.
Drell and my monk could get along. Brother.
Oh my God, you guys could do like Macho Man,
Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and like Hulk Hogan stuff. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Oh yeah.
But if we do another campaign, I have this idea for this like alchemist artificer who's Cajun. He's got this like Cajun accent.
There you go.
like he's from the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I read up on those, and I was completely like, not understanding a lot of the, because I mean, for your first time, I think using that class seemed overwhelming.
I was overwhelmed for weeks until I watched some videos about it, like how to play artificers, and then finally, it took me a while to be like, oh, okay, this is how I could play that, and like fit that into a character. I agree with you, man. Artificers are not like, artificers and wizards are the same way. They're not like easily accessible to first-time players, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
What about you, Alec? I've heard some of your ideas, but maybe you got some new ones.
Yeah. Man, it's so hard because, well, I obviously have one. I have a really good idea of like something I want to run, like maybe in like a future campaign. But I think if I was to re-roll after Drell's like heroic death, obviously,
Of course,
he ain't going out any other way. You know what I'm saying?
He dies pulling the dragon off the mountain with him into the mist.
Exactly, dude. I kind of want to go like a bard.
Oh, really?
But instead of like doing like a musicianal bard, I don't know if we could kind of homebrew something into being like I think it'd be really funny to be like a street magician.
That was not what I was expecting you to say.
Like instead of like music, I want to be like a street performer. I think that shit would be
awesome.
Super fucking funny. And like
that is so good.
Yeah, I don't know what college of like Bard College I'd want to go into, but it would probably have to be like the College of Glamour or something.
Oh,
right? Like,
dude, something to think about. Just a thought. You could do a cleric for that idea, and be the trickery domain cleric, because they create a doppelganger.
Oh.
And it's this like illusion of yourself on the battlefield that you can move around and cast spells from. Or maybe just like multi-class and do both. You know?
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. Yeah, that's a really cool subclass.
And then
just put it out there.
Yeah. No, and then I think I would want to be like a gnome. I would want to be something, I would want to be something like super annoying to like other people.
Love that.
So,
you know, I've been doing this campaign with my college friends, and I kind of homebrewed a lot of the races for the world I created. And I don't love the way gnomes are written in D&D. I actually love the traditional like garden gnome. So my
like
gnomes
Papa
are literally
Smurf
like
type thing?
like a foot tall, yeah, like tiny little buggers. and I literally made them tiny creatures that you can play as.
Dude, that's
with like,
Oh wow.
that's what I'm
yeah, with all
talking
these like
about.
trickery kind of features.
Yeah.
I think we nailed this. I think we got one more segment though.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah. You know what? And speaking of nailing things, let's try to nail down what Tony is. So what we were gonna do is try to, if we were gonna ask, what kind of, blank is our DM? Okay, so what should we?
This segment
should I
is
start
called
off?
"What Would
You guys-
Tony Be?"
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think we should
So-
start off with like the general thing, like what character would he play, right?
Yeah. So what kind of character would he play? So if the tables were turned and one of us were DMing, what character do you think he would play? Let's I think I have mine. Do you guys have
Yeah,
yours
and I think I'm
figured
gonna
out?
cheat on this one because I think he's actually
Oh.
told me. You know, actually, I won't go with that.
Okay.
I won't mention that. I'm gonna go with what I think he should play instead.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Who wants to start off? I got one. How about, you know what, Alec, you start off this time. How about that?
Okay.
Don't tell us what you know it is, because tell us at the end, and then we
I
can.
think he should
compare
play in Arakakra because he won't let us play it. But I think he should play it.
Is that the bird?
I think he should play it and then have his wings clipped so he can't fly.
Nah.
That's what I would make him play.
You know
Or,
why?
Like, that's what I think.
Because he
should
clips our wings every time we try to do anything fun. So he's like, no. Yo, I'm on fire today, dude.
Dude, you're gonna make our DM cry. He's gonna quit.
He's gonna listen to this and be like, "These fucking."
Yo, I got the
guys, dude."
segues, I got the jokes.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, no. For
right.
like,
Why are
people
we
who-
fighting a level 10 monster right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because Jared made that joke about. Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah. Be like trying to fly your way out of this
So
one.
yeah, so for people who I guess don't know, we might have mentioned it, in something earlier, but when we were all picking races and classes, one of the main races Tony said we couldn't play was in Arakakra, because he just didn't want us to be able to have the ability to fly, because he thought what like the world he was building was like predominantly like super cool, like on the ground. So he was like, I don't want to have to like rewrite a bunch of
On the
shit.
ground.
Which is like understandable. Like it's cool. Like it doesn't really matter. I
He
just
doesn't
think it
want
would
a
be funny
world
to
build
make him
around it.
be a bird,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like I would make him be like an
That's funny.
ostrich version of an Arakakra, like a flightless bird.
You know,
Yeah.
as we've been discovering more about D&D, or at least as I have, I've been looking at like Roll20 games, and I've discovered that's like an actual debate people have about like
What's that?
letting first-time players or like players in general play as flying races in their campaign. And a lot of people don't allow them
I mean,
because they.
I get it. And I'm glad Tony did it, because it gives us an ability to like learn D&D, like
Yeah.
how it was originally. Because Arakakra is not an original race. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. So like learning the basics and of how D&D was like supposed to be played, I feel like is cool. You go down a path, you go right or left,
Yeah.
not you fly over both paths and you see which one. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
You start with the warlock tiefling, and then you go from there. He always hates on me
Classic.
for the warlock. Yeah.
I think he would play a herringon, or whatever, however it's pronounced, because he's a rabbit dad. He's a bunny dad, if you don't know. Tony's got 2 bunnies. So I think he'd be a bunny class, but he'd be like a big rabbit, a fat, huge rabbit, because he loves playing fat characters. He talks about this all the time. He loves like huge characters. And I think he'd be, I mean, he's a wizard at heart, I think, truly. He wants to mess around with the DM as much as he can. So I think he'd be a rabbit race wizard of some kind.
Be like Roger Rabbit, but like a
So I had something similar. I was gonna say that he was gonna be like, as far as a class that he was gonna play, I thought he was gonna be a druid because of that kind of same reason.
Yeah, that's another good angle.
So I thought he was gonna be transforming into everything, doing all that kind of druidy thing.
Possibly, yeah.
But that's kind of where I was thinking. But yes, definitely big old bear would be
Big
his,
old bear.
his trademark.
You'd
for
be a
sure.
bugbear druid. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
It's me,
Bugbear.
a
Oh my
bugbear
God.
druid. Hey,
Or
boo-boo.
so my other angle was he's going to be a tentacle monster of some sort. So I didn't know what class that was.
You know he's
but-
transforming into an octopus
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
that druid.
so he'd probably be what is it? A wizard? Because I think they can then I don't know, doppelgang or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but okay. So what would he play, Alec, if you know? You said that you maybe know.
Yeah.
do you think
I
it
don't
was?
want to put him on blast. I want to maybe be a surprise for everybody. So I don't want to.
Okay.
Sure, sure.
I'll let him. I'll let him.
Just know
right.
that we know that he knows we know
Exactly,
he knows
exactly.
that we know
Yes.
you don't know we know.
And I'll tell you guys off podcast. So then when you guys, because it's gonna be one of you guys DMing if he ever plays, if we ever let him be a player, so you guys can really just prepare for it right now. You know.
Gotcha. All right. So then, if we were to compare Tony to a fast food restaurant, which one would he be?
Fast food restaurant.
Yeah, any of the major ones. Let's not go into the.
See,
Well,
this is
I mean,
hard because
we could
I
go
live on a
into
complete opposite coast than him. So like half of the stuff out there,
So let's hit the major ones.
I want to go some sort of pizza place.
That's what I was going to say.
mean-
I was going to say Domino's.
Yeah. Oh yes.
He lives at Domino's.
Domino's. 100%.
Man straight up lives at
He
Domino's.
fucking loves Domino's.
Okay.
It's 100% Domino's.
It was in fact Domino's was the correct answer
Yep.
because he literally talks about ordering it all the time. So
Give me an inspiration diet, Jared.
yeah. You what? You guys passed the test. That was the correct answer.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. So I started thinking this up because I was like, what kind of I play a lot of League of Legends, and I was like, what League of Legends character would Tony be? And I was like trying to think about it, and I was like, oh, that'd make a good little segment. But so then I was trying to think of like, what kind of car would he be?
He would definitely be Rammus.
You think so?
He would definitely want to play Rammus. He'd be a little speedy
I was thinking
iron
Yumi.
ball that would run around
This
just
is the
smacking
worst.
people. You said who?
Yep. Yumi, because he's
Oh,
the worst.
dude, Yumi.
I was just kidding.
The jokes are flying.
No, I was gonna say Volibear, but that was
Ooh,
it.
yeah, Volibear would be a good one. I can see him. That's pretty much a bugbear.
So, in case the few of you out there that play League of Legends, that was for you. You're welcome.
I don't know League of Legends. I don't play it. I only have watched the
Oh.
Netflix
You know what?
series, so I'm gonna go off of looks. I think he'd be either Dr. Mundo or Braum.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I
are
want to change my
neither
answer.
of-
He would be Vel'Koz because tentacles.
Oh, that's very true.
Oh, what about this Gragas guy?
So I was gonna think Gragas for
Oh, yeah.
sure, but that's
Yep.
when I started like Rammus, just because he gotta go fast.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, cool, awesome. I think that's it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Those are all the segments.
Oh, we definitely
Anything
nailed
else?
No, I think we're good.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that sticking with us. We really appreciate it. Honestly, the support has been awesome. Can't believe that we're still doing this. Is it almost been a year since we've
Almost, yeah.
Like,
I mean, we've been
started
Since we started
posting?
Yeah, I was gonna
posting,
say.
yeah.
Because I know it's. Yeah, I was gonna say. So thanks again for all those supporting. If you're not supporting and just listening, we love you too. Thanks.
Yeah. Also, I guess this is kind of. I mean, we're obviously talking about random topics, but I do want to say, like, people who aren't Patreons, this is kind of like what our after shows like. We just kind of talk like this, but it's more focused on the episode and what we were thinking as we were going through the episode, and like what we could have done different or what we were gonna do different. So I mean, if you guys kind of enjoy this type of stuff of us just making fun of each other and just talking about random stuff, go join the Patreon.
We do it a lot.
Yeah.
Follow us on.
Honestly, if you've never joined a Patreon, let me just say it might be the best one that's out there.
That's true.
I think
Just
so. I would
Yeah.
agree with you. We post some funny stuff. I'm actually really happy with like the unique content we post on there. They're usually bangers. They're all bangers. They're all bangers.
I think
Go
it is-
watch and listen to these bangers.
I think it's well worth what we throw up there for sure.
Yeah. Follow us on TikTok. We're gonna start posting some more stuff on there. We've been kind of on a hiatus because we've all been like super busy, but we're gonna kind of get back on that. Join the Discord if you want to just like hang out and talk to us. We're also gonna be starting some like community games that Tony might be running, and we might just do community game nights in general of like Among Us or like something silly, you know, just to get to meet all you. We've already talked to some of you, and it's like really cool to hear how you found out about the podcast and you know like your experience with D&D in general. So if you want to hang out and have a good time, join the Discord. Link
And
below.
fun fact, some of you guys are even in the show because you guys have been supporting us so much.
Yeah, you'll hear that soon.
You know, if you're listening, let us know. We love to hear it.
Also,
Keeps us motivated.
I want to change my answer on the League of Legends thing. I don't know what this
Yes.
character is, but
Orn.
Tony would definitely, hands down, be this Tom Kench dude.
Yeah.
That's a
Fucking
good
the
one.
catfish.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely, this catfish. Yeah.
Dude, Tom Kench is my
Oh,
boy.
you know what? Or
And
With the
I would
top
play. I would play Twisted Fate. I think just based off of looks.
Jared, who's the lady with all the tentacles when she ults? You know, she
all
like
the
spawns all the tentacles.
Oh, you're talking
and
about
she starts smacking.
Zyra. She's a
No,
plant. Allow it.
Allow it. Yeah, that's who he would be, dude.
Yeah,
like
that's-
randomly
yep,
spawning
yep.
tentacles and smacking them all over the place.
Yeah. No, 100%.
100%.
I'm changing my answer
Tony's
to
Alawi confirmed.
Yep, there you go.
All right, guys. Well, everyone take care.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks
make sure you
again.
follow all the
Appreciate
socials.
you. Love your faces.
Bye.
Later.
Peace out.
It's time to thank the supporters of our show, starting with Sidgwick College alumni Ulrich Shieldust. Many of you may not know this, but when Ulrich isn't working at the Forge or playing cards with Leslie, he likes to volunteer his time teaching children at the local orphanage how to smith. His good friend Ched works there, and he can't wait to catch up with him on his next visit. Next are Humbrea's heroes. Pascal Elliott, aka Charcoal Darts, is a wild magic painter and character artist for DND404. She took on a new student recently. As crazy as it sounds, a giant snake approached her with a newfound passion for illustrations. Unfortunately, she had to ask the snake to leave after mistaking several mouse paintings for the real thing. Next is Man with Glass, famous glass blower gone rogue. Many alchemists have found their laboratory equipment replaced with comically small versions of themselves. Everyone suspects Man with Glass and are getting the pitchforks ready as we speak. Run, Man with Glass, while you can! Now Artemis, a great fighter and bouncer of the Kambuki fighting pits. Artemis is used to getting rough, but nothing could prepare them for their recent predicament. A man by the name of Jake from Land Garden bored Artemis nearly to death with what could only be false tales of a Goliath, tiny minotaur, and a tiefling dropping him into a magical well after roughing up some jackal wares. Have you heard of Joshua Weaver, famous bag weaver of Humbrea? I heard Josh wove a bag so huge and so beautiful that Lord Baron himself requested an audience to congratulate him. That, or he was imprisoned for using up all the wool north of the border to make that bag. I can't remember. On to Alex Judge Dredd. They are a legendary wizard with an appetite for justice and a bit of a temper. When questioned about their recent vigilante excursion, Alex told the guard, "That horse rider was going 8 miles per hour in the carriage pool lane. They deserved no less than the cone of cold I gave them." Ooh, yikes. Anyways, thank you again for all the love and support from our patrons. If you would like to hear your name here, you can subscribe to us on patreon.com/DND404. Tier 3 and up will be featured in this segment every month. But have a good week, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.